Hey, yo, Dusherman, what's going on? It's the coolest legend there is, the Kool, the DJ, the Red Alert, Dusherman. I know you with the Jigga Juice, that JJ, that Jigga Juice. Go ahead, baby, make it happen.
I'm here in New York City, and I'm here with the one and only Kool DJ Red Alert, the legend Red Alert. Thank you for being here on Jigga Juice.
What's going on, man? What's happening, man?
All is good. How are you?
Man, I'm happy I still blessed and continue to do what I love, man. No, keep on playing the sounds everybody want to hear.
Hell yeah, that's what's important. Keeping hip hop alive and playing that good stuff. And really, this is amazing to me, man, because being a hip hop radio host, I owe so much to you. Because without people like you, there wouldn't be no hip hop radio shows, not here, and definitely not in Israel.
Well, first and foremost, big up to my man Super Rockin' Mr. Magic. May he rest in peace, because he the one that really started launching off all the hip-hop shows, on radio, as he took it upon himself doing on an independent station. Then right after that, came along, many others, such as Chuck Chill Out, and, the list is long. So, I am considered in New York City the longest lasting hip-hop radio DJ as existence right now.
And you earned that title. But how did you start doing radio back in the day?
Well, what it is, it's a. Let me see how short I can make this story. At the place to be at one point in time back in 1980s, it was the world famous Roxy. The Roxy is where everybody used to come and join and hang out. And me being under the affiliation of Africa Bambaataa, Almighty Universal Zulu Nation, I, along with my cousin, the original DJ Jazzy J, Africa Islam, we was all rocking in there. So the radio station, the people for the radio station came to Africa Bambaataa and said, we want to incorporate what you all doing along with what we doing and make it, a show. So the first person they went after was Africa Islam. He missed the appointment, so they went after my cousin Jazzy. He did it for like maybe about good 2-3 months, but he wasn't getting paid. But he just gave it up, and they came to me, and I started in October 1983. After 3 months without pay, which it gave me exposure and raised my profile to let people know who I was, and getting me bookings to do parties and studio time and everything. I just kept going and built right on it.
So you started at the parties, right? And before that. But before that, how did you discover the culture? Were you there at its first moment?
Well, a lot of people always knew that I used to be going to Kool Herc parties. Big up to my man Kool Herc, the gentleman that really opened our eyes to the sounds of what's going on in the culture.
Were you there on Cedric Avenue?
No, I wasn't there in Cedric Avenue. No, I will admit I was not at the very first party. No, but a little bit after he gave his first party, he had different clubs, and I started going to them, right along with my friends, because I was attending school up in the BX in the Bronx, coming from Harlem. So, after I got caught on, I was following everything he's doing, and then, after I went to college, I did a year and a half in college. I went away, I came back home, and then here go another set of people come out. You have Flash. You have the L Brothers featuring Grand Wizard Theodore. You have, rest in peace, who just passed away, Kool DJ AJ. And then you have Africa Bambaataa.
And what was it like for you, seeing it all formulate into this beautiful culture?
Well, what it was that at that time, it was like, the diamond in the rough, the cord to the edge where, where everybody had to come downtown to party. You had to be dressed accordingly. You had to be a certain age, a certain attire, and they was more into like the dance, disco, R&B sounds. But for what Kool Herc let us hear and what he was introducing to us is something different than the norm, and we caught on to it. So we followed him to everything he was doing, and before you know it, a lot of us that was hanging in his clubs became DJs.
Other than that, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned the Zulu Nation. How did you join the Zulu Nation?
How I joined the Zulu Nation, and it all started from my cousin, the original DJ Jazzy J. Here it is, man. I started DJing on my own. My cousin came by the house. He wanted to learn. I showed him the basics. From there, he left. Him and the rest of the family, they moved up in the Bronx to Bronx River Projects. And my aunt brought my cousin his very first DJ set, turntables and mixer. And he started making friends up there. And the first person he DJ'd for was a person by the name of Disco King Mario, rest in peace. But Bam was like, well, who the young kid that's down with Mario? He said, yo, he just moving the party. He said he need to be down with me. So he put my cousin on. And when he put my cousin on, my cousin spoke up for me. And then he put me on, and that was 1979.
That's crazy. And do you still keep in touch with Africa Bambaataa to this day?
Oh, man, I respect Africa Bambaataa. I call him the father of music in my eyes. He taught me so much how to, execute, how to present, how to, pursue whatever you're doing as a DJ, as an entertainer, as a performer. I respect him to the fullest.
And you also related to the Jungle Brothers member, Mike G. So did that give you a free seat, so to speak, to see the rise of the native tongues?
Well, I look at it this way, because when I was starting to DJ for Africa Bambaataa and later on started being on the radio, my nephew, Mike G, he was going to high school, and he was always hanging out with a bunch of guys at the high school. They said they wanted to make a record. So I went according to one of my friends who I knew who was a producer, and he had just built a studio in his house. I said, yo, I got my nephew and them want to make. So I brought them down there, and they formed themselves as the Jungle Brothers.
And what was it like seeing the Jungle Brothers and the whole native tongue movement, seeing the rise?
I was very, very impressed. I was very pleased to see how a bunch of young ones took it upon themselves to develop their own style, their own. They learn how to brand themselves to become who they are, and learn how to connect from one person to another. At the same time, I was also in association with a couple other people. Like I was very close with Mark the 45 King, and that's how he introduced me to Queen Latifah, and then Mike G and them, for the first time on the road, they introduced themselves to De La Soul, and to the same school that Mike G was going to. That was the same school that members of Tribe Called Quest, Q-Tip, Ali Shaheem, and Jerobi was going to. So everybody just kept on connecting. I just allowed them to become into their own. It's like I let them, if you believe in what they doing, you fall back and you let them, you see how they create their self.
You also mentioned Mr. Magic, and that reminds me that you had a significant role in the BDP Juice Crew beef. What was your role there?
Well, it all started because when I started doing the radio, like I said, I look up to Mr. Magic in a great way. He opened doors for me to be on the radio, but he was also very competitive. It's just like sports, you respect your opponent, but you always go and learn how to be competitive and battle them. So when I started doing radio on 98.7 KISS FM, Mr. Magic was on WBLS. When he was on BLS and heard that I was on, he started talking about me, and we going back and forth, and before you know it, we having a little radio war. And then when Roxanne Shante came out and did a record, here it is, a girl named Sparky D came and did an answer to Roxanne Shante, and she asked me to become their DJ. So that was one thing, and then the next thing was when KRS-One, got dissed by, when the Boogie Down production got dissed by Mr. Magic with the first record they came out with, and they did the South Bronx, they asked me to get down with them as I played their record, and we just kept on going. But we always learned to keep it on the records and in the performance. We never took it personal. We never got into no fist fight. We never disrespect each other. As a matter of fact, years later, you saw Mr. Magic, MC Shan, KRS-One, and Kool DJ Red Alert all together in a Sprite commercial.
Yeah, and recently, a few years ago, KRS-One did an album with Marley Marl.
Right, so that go to show you in full circle, it's all in sportsmanship that, we love what we do, but we learn to keep it classy. We don't trash ourselves and don't disrespect ourselves, and that's why we still all together to this day.
The true essence of hip-hop and the competitiveness.
Yeah, but one thing you got to always learn about, in this culture, it's all about being competitive. Who the best break dancer? Who the best MC? Who's the best DJ? Who the best graffiti artist? Who make the best songs? It's all about being competitive, but it's sportsmanship at the same time.
And about the KRS thing, he tells in one of his interviews in the Beef documentary that he gave you the South Bronx record and you ended up playing it 10 times in a row in the night at the party. Do you recall that evening?
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard South Bronx. I was in this club called Latin Quarters. It was Celebrity Tuesdays. And the first person that rest in peace, Scott LaRock gave it to us, my man DJ Raul. DJ Raul was the house DJ of the Latin Quarter. Raul played it, he heard it, he like, wow. Then he pulled it all the way back to the beginning and let it play again. And then after he played it, then they gave him back the record, and that's when they passed the record to me, say, this is for you to play on the radio, and the rest is history.
What other historic moments did you get to host on your show? Like just the moment you remember?
It's so many. It's hard to say because I know there's many a times I have moved around. Everybody always going to know me for being on 98.7 Kiss FM. And then, you know, at one point, and then after that, I started being on Hot 97. I went over to Power 105. But, you know, every time I left from a station, I left in a big way where, you know, this was the final show at that time. So, you know, it was a big hurrah when I was leaving. And then there's, no, I never did interviews. It's always mixing. I was always mixing. Only one person I would say in respect I did an interview for, and he deserved that interview, was Kool Herc.
Wow. I think there's a recording of KRS and KRS and Scott LaRock on your show performing. There's something like that, right?
Yes, that was performing. No interviews. It was just performances, you know. And that's what I have. Sometimes I used to record live performances and, you know, play them on my show. That's what I used to do.
And now you're back on the Hot 97. I saw. What's going on over there?
Yeah, you know, after 14 years of leaving Hot 97, I'm back over there. I do this show called Prop Master Retro each and every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in New York City. Of course, everybody can listen to it worldwide. You go stream online. And I still do the other show on WBLS where, you know, they got me mixing just as well. So, you know, that's why they consider me the longest lasting hip-hop DJ in the city.
And what do you think, as a fellow radio host, hip-hop radio host, I wanted to ask you, I mean, of course, no comparison here, but what do you think hip-hop radio should sound like, ideally?
Well, I understand that, you know, once I got involved with the business of radio, it's all about entertainment and learning how to generate revenue because it's a business. You know, that's why if you learn how to make a show complete, the people in the sales department can get people to buy advertisement, and that's how you generate money. It's business. You know, that's what it is. It's like saying, you know, if you have a good team in sports, everybody go pay their tickets to come and see the team. So, you know, you have a good show, you learn how to generate. So what I learned to do, you keep it to the core, let them know how official and authentic the culture is, but you also got to make sure you entertain them at the same time. So, you know, you can't go too raw, you can't go too hard because you may stir people away, but you put it in an entertaining feel, people will be pleased and will stick with you, and that's what I learned.
And that's what I gotta give. That's why I gotta give a shout out to people like Peter Rosenberg, who, you know, they're true hip hop heads and they like the stuff that we like the old school, and yet they still find a way to do it on the mainstream platform.
Yeah, because, you know, you got to understand, when you hitting mainstream, you come into a whole different direction of people. Now, the people, the true heads that love the culture, they are from, you know, the underground, from the streets, you know, and they understand the raw, what it is. But then again, when you go into the next level of people, some may know and some may not know, so you got to learn how to come across them in a way for them to understand.
By the way, what do you think about the new Stretch and Bobbito documentary that's coming up?
Ah, man, big up the Stretch and Bobbito because, you know, they took it to the next gender, you know, when they came into the 90s and introducing a new wave of artists that was, you know, appearing at that time. And, you know, they you know, of course, you know, Stretch and Bobbito, they was not on a major radio station. They was from a college radio station, but the college radio station allowed them to be raw and authentic. And that's the audience that followed them. And, you know, here it is years later. Now they have a documentary respect to them.
That's also, by the way, I have a few shows, but my main show is also on the college radio, and they also let me play what I like. So on one show I can have, I once had a show that started with Young Thug and ended by Q Unique. And so you had all the Jigga and all Wu-Tang Clan in the middle of it. So I can really respect that.
Yeah, but, you know, you got to understand, one thing I learned in life, there's so many different avenues of what you get involved with. You have the underground, you have the commercial, you have the elite, you have the trendy. It's like how you fit in whatever avenue it is that you are joined to the audience that like you as much as you like them, and how you entertain them.
For real, and that's what I try to do on my show too. And I wanted to ask you, are there any new school rappers that you dig right now?
There's quite a few new school rappers. I can't think off the top of my head, but I got to mention this because it's only right. But one of the new school rappers happened to be my son, my younger son. Not the one that used to hear on the radio, the younger one. He go by the name of G Mims. And he just started doing his thing for the past couple of years. Matter of fact, he just got signed to Tommy Boy. So he getting ready to come out with a couple new songs, and I hope everybody get ready to enjoy him.
We'll be on the lookout. How about people like Kendrick Lamar and Joey Badass?
Oh, Joey Badass, Kendrick Lamar, Action Bronson, J. Cole. I respect these guys. And look how it is. Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, they come from the underground, reach to the commercial level, but they have a lot of respect in both avenues. As for Joey Badass and Action Bronson, they still in the underground, but they have a great following. So I respect them guys.
And they're all, for example, for Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, they made it to the mainstream, but yet you still hear the lyricism. It's still good lyrics, and they managed to go mainstream with those lyrics.
But see, they know how to entertain, how to take over, and let you take time to listen and hear what they saying, what they bringing to the table.
For real. Kool DJ Red Alert, thank you so much for doing this interview. I'm humbled, and it's an honor for me to have you here.
Respect to everybody out there. Yo, listen, this is something that we love to do. We do it for the love, and one thing leading to another, man. How often do you find something you love to do and make something out of it, because it helped take care of my family, took care of my career, and I'm looking forward for you to do the same for yourself, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Peace out.
Peace to you, JJ.